So when I look at a range of hooks, anybody's hooks, I always look to see if there's anything that will work on a 360, you know, better than what I've used in the past. And straight away, I identified the CVR was the perfect 360 hook. Now, when I say that, there's an actual, almost mathematical formula that you have to follow with a hook to work on a 360. And it goes like this. If you get a piece of paper, or or a straight edge, a ruler, whatever, draw a straight line, and you push the point of the hook flat against the line, the eye of the hook has to touch the line, the exact same line, like this. If it falls short, you're more likely to pull the hook out of a fish rather than into a fish. And with the riggers, as you saw just now, it works absolutely perfectly. And I like the great big sweeping bend on these. So, I mean, obviously they've got loads of other uses. It's not only for a 360, but as soon as I saw this, I just thought that is absolutely spot on for a 360. So you want a mini flexi ring swivel, and you pop that, the actual swivel part of it, not the flexi ring, over the point and slide it down to the eye like that. It looks a complicated rig, but it's actually quite an easy rig to tie up. There's only like the 3 components and then the hook link. The next thing that you put on there is whatever's going to hold your bait. Now, some people like bait screws, some people like the tiny little mini swivels and tie to that. Personally, my own favourite is a normal sort of rig ring like that, and I tie on a short hair, and I tie it just a little bit longer than my bait because that gives me an extra bit of flexibility. And once you've tied these, I mean, that might be a year old, that might be 2 years old. You can just reuse it and reuse it and reuse it. So I tend to tie up half a dozen and then keep going forever until I've lost them all, and then do another half a dozen. So what you need then, before you slide that on, you need 2 little rubber stops. You slide the first one on point first so that you've got the flat end at the top of the hook, then the ring, and then the other one goes the other way around. So the first one goes round like that. You can see what I mean by saying the wider end of the bead is towards the bend, the top of the hook. And then you pop on whatever your chosen bait holder is, slide that round like so, and then on with the second bead. So the second bead ends up on the top of the bend, and that's quite important, because what that will ensure is when your pop-up, if you're using a pop-up on it, it will sit right above the rig, and when a fish sucks that in, the hook will follow the line of the pop-up into the mouth rather than the back of the hook risking hitting the lips on the way in. So you've got the first bead just below level with the point, and the second bead right on the top of the bend. And that's it. It's that simple. And all you've got to do now is attach it to hook link of choice. And hook link of choice for me at the moment is the Ultra Skin in the brown. I really like the colour of this. I do a lot of boat work, going out looking actually at the bottom of lake at clear spots and spots that fish have fed on, and this is a really nice match to the sort of areas you're probably going to end up fishing on. Those donks, quite often the silk gets blown off and it ends up this sort of light, almost sandy, muddy colour. So just take a length of this. I don't measure, I never measure. Usually ends up about yay long. Quite simple. I don't break the coating with a 360 rig because you've already got all of that hinge and all of that movement involved. You don't need the extra movement. I do a 6 or 7 turn tuck blood knot. Dead simple. Done that since I was a kid. It was the first knot I ever learned. Tighten it down. Tighten it down carefully with coated braids always, because if you do it too quickly, the friction can sort of not melt but damage the coating. Just take a couple of seconds extra to make sure you tease that down nicely. Trim the end off. Same on the other end to your swivel, on your lead release system or inline or whatever you use. And there we go. All that needs to make that the perfect rig, obviously, is a boilie. Because it ain't going to catch nothing without one of them. Or it doesn't have to, it's not just a boilie only rig. I use that a lot with like 2 pieces of plastic corn. I'll use it with even tiger nuts on the bottom. It doesn't have, people think with a 360 that it has to sit up like that. It doesn't have to sit up like that. You can use it with bottom baits. I prefer it personally with a pop-up or a wafter. And then we just pop him on there. Oh, just took myself in the finger, that's how dangerous this rig is. Pop him on there like that. Oh, beep. And there we go, 360 rig, ready to rock and roll. Obviously it needs a hair stop, but you can imagine that part. And wherever the fish approaches that from, it just spins round and nails them every time. So there we go, 360 with a CVR size 6.